Peace be to you all. Assalamu alaikum. This is Omar Abdul Malik, physician assistant / associate and health educator. So it is PA week 2021 from October 6th through October 12th. So I thought I would use this opportunity to do one video per day about my experience as a physician assistant. So I have been a PA for 20 years. I started my first job as a licensed PA back in August 13th, 2001. So it's now 2021, so it's been 20 years. I'll tell you a bit about my academic sojourn leading up to PA school. So I was kind of a struggling student. So I was what I call a trifling pre-med student, meaning I had pretty mediocre grades. But I got into Stony Brook University in 1988, and I took a bunch of biology courses because I heard you needed those for medical school. I had no clue of what I was doing. I just thought I wanted to be a doctor. I had done some autopsies with my uncle, Charles Garrison, at Stony Brook University in Long Island. And I was really impressed with what I saw. I was working alongside the doctors, and I was like, wow, this is kind of cool. I think I ought to go to medical school. I didn't know what that entailed. So I took chemistry a bunch of times because I failed it. And then took coordinate zoology, comparative anatomy, some other stuff. Not really knowing the curriculum for pre-med, and I didn't even know what the MCATs were. I didn't really have a medical school mentor. There was no Dr. Andre Pinesett, the study doc. Maybe I'll put a link in my description for his channel. But, I transferred schools after 2 years, and in the summer of, I think it was the summer of '89, I did an allied health program at Howard University, and it was for students who were interested in allied health but really didn't know what they wanted to do. So I did it, fell in love with Howard. I wanted to go to Howard initially, but I also wanted to get away from home. My parents are Washingtonians, and I think we lived in Maryland at the time. But I was like, I got to get away from home. But anyway, I transferred to Howard University in the summer of '89. My financial aid did not come through, and then I was like, where do I go to school now? And I heard about the University of the District of Columbia. And I had some misgivings about that school because I'd heard, things that weren't too great about it. They had open enrollment. It wasn't competitive, but it was affordable. So I transferred there and was pleasantly surprised to find that they had a really robust curriculum. The class sizes were really small. I'll talk about that in another video about finding a good fit for you in terms of a university. So I did a little bit better because I got a little bit more the individualized attention that I needed. And I took chemistry, physics, organic chemistry, still struggled with chemistry. Excelled at the English classes and in the writing classes. And even my dad was like, maybe you should major in English because you got straight A's in those. And I was like, no, I'm going to medical school. I studied for the MCATs, took Kaplan, got mediocre MCAT scores, had a 3.2 GPA, like a barely there science GPA. Didn't get into medical school after trying 3 times. And I went to go after getting my this is after getting my biology degree in '94, and then I went on to work for a biotech company and went to grad school part-time at Johns Hopkins, getting a master's degree in biotechnology. I didn't finish that. I got fired from the biotech program, from the biotech um, um, job, and I was at this bookstore, the Writer's Scientific Bookstore in D.C., and I met one of my erstwhile classmates there from UDC. She said, "I thought you went to med school." I said, "No, I didn't get in. I got an interview, um, got my recommendations, but I still got rejected. So I don't know what I'm going to do now. I contemplated going to chiropractic school, maybe DO school, but even that still wasn't, I didn't feel that it was a good fit for me. And this guy kept looking over at me, kind of listening in on my conversation. And he came over to me later after my friend left and said, "Look, I overheard your conversation. I just wanted to let you know I'm at Howard University's PA program." And I was like, "Yeah, I heard about PAs, some kind of assistant or something, a doctor's assistant." And he had, he was looking at medical, books for the USMLE, the United States Medical Licensure Exam. He said, "Well, I'm about to take my boards, my physician assistant national certification boards. But, this might be a good fit for you." And in my mind, I was like, "I don't want to be anybody's assistant." I didn't like the connotation of the word. But we talked a little bit, and he told me about all the things he had done, the training he had. And it was very similar to the he said it's very similar to the training that the medical school students had, but it wasn't as in depth, and it certainly wasn't as long. So I looked into it a little bit more, and then in the Washington Post in 1997, on the front page, there was an article about physician assistants, and it said something like physician assistants excel at have a robust economy or something like that. But it was all about how PAs were kind of filling the void and really helping the physicians and working with the nurses in things like the emergency rooms and the ORs. And I was like, wow, it's really something. And at the time, PAs were making $56,000 a year, which to me was a fortune. So I applied to Howard's PA program. I did not know that they had a PA program until his brother told me. And I got in the first time. I got, alhamdulillah, struggled through. It was a tough program. My God. And we did our rotations with the medical students. Um, um, all your OBGYN, peds, ER, surgery, internal medicine. And then, finally, it took me 2 times to pass my boards. And I got offered a job at Howard University working for a program called HUH Cares, a grant-funded program. And it was lots of community-based medicine and outreach, which is what I really enjoyed. So I did that for several years, then went to another clinic, worked there, Andromeda Transcultural, and left that, and then got hired. It was the grant fund. That's one of the caveats. I'll tell you guys about caveats of working in different capacities. So I've always worked for grant-funded programs, nonprofit. That's my love and joy is serving the poor and the less fortunate, I should say. So I've been a hospitalist PA for the past 6 years. I'll talk about that in another video. But it's been a great 20 years. Being a PA may work for you if you're interested in medicine. You don't want to be a nurse, but you don't necessarily want to invest the money or time into being an MD or a DO. I feel very well respected as a PA. It's been a great 20 years. I've gotten to work in research. I've gotten to teach. I was a professor at Howard for a few years back in early 2000. I've published articles. I've published original research. I've been a speaker. So it's a great profession. It's very tough to get into PA school. It's tough to get out, and it's tough to pass those boards and even land your first job. But it's definitely worth it. I really enjoy being a PA, and I've enjoyed it. So that's it for now. I'll do some follow-up videos, God willing. You can reach out to me, and I'll help you to the best of my ability.